Okay. Welcome to Kim's video journal. This is week 8. Date is 30th of the 3rd, 20. We'll do the usual questions. What is your name?
Kim Fulton.
How old are you?
56.
What is your date of birth?
22nd of July.
Who's talking to you?
My husband Steve.
How many children have you?
4.
And their names?
Is Leslie, Christopher, Carly and Michael.
Do you have grandchildren?
I do.
And their names?
I have got Alfie and Alea, Sky, Corey, Mia.
What is your favourite colour?
Orange.
Out of these, which is your favourite, apple, peach or strawberry?
Apple.
What was your job?
I was an advanced nurse practitioner looking after bowel cancer patients.
What other jobs have you done?
I was a nursery nurse. I worked for HMRC. I worked on a mushroom farm. I worked in a fish and chip shop. I was a Tupperware demonstrator. And I was a jeweller.
What was the song you danced with your granddad?
Moon River.
Where did you go on holiday every Easter with your family?
Caister.
What was the name of yours and Sean's pony?
Angus.
What is your favourite hobby?
Horse riding.
What town do we live in?
Battlesbridge.
What day is Christmas?
25th of December.
Hold up 3 fingers.
1, 2, 3.
Name a couple of songs you like to sing along to.
On Top of the World.
Okay, you've got your book in front of you. You've got to read the introduction.
Okey-doke. Small bites, salads, soups, curries. I can't read that one. Something with marinades, noodles and rice, sweet beans. Sorry, some of those I can't read.
It's okay. List some good things about this week.
I have, with my husband's help, Steve's help, I've been able to FaceTime, if not all, my family.
And anything that's upset you or been not so nice this week?
Cold. I don't like the cold.
Okay, that's all the questions. This week's conversation, you wanted to talk about making your home dementia friendly.
Yes. And I'm probably going to need Steve's help because it's quite a big list. So I'm going to start from the front door. So the first thing I would say, wandering is often one of the frustrations for both the person with dementia and the family with Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia, is that you can wander. You don't mean to wander, but you wander, and family and friends obviously get worried that you're going to get lost or injured whilst you're out and about wandering and maybe not find your way home. So a key safe is a fantastic little gadget that you can purchase. I think my husband got ours online. I'm sure disability accessible shops would also provide them. And you just fit it to your hallway, and it allows, or your porchway, and it allows family or carers to access the house without the person with dementia having to get up and out to the door and answer the door. And it just gives a bit of extra security for the person indoors with dementia and reassurance for the family. So that's the first thing. Then I'm kind of going round my house, which is how I'm thinking it out. So then in my bedroom, we have profiling beds, not necessarily so important when you're in the early stages, but as dementia progresses, people can become frailer and precious areas can become more of an issue. So those are things to think about if you are in a position to afford them, because they're not always that cheap. After that, I'm going to go into the wet room. So in my wet room, or whether it's a bathroom, I've got grab rails on all sides of my bedroom, which gives me stability whilst I'm out there. I have a seated shower stool, which flips up and down, so the person, if you're sharing it with your partner, they can have it lifted up so that they can shower or bathe. But you do need to pay attention to the flooring in there. It needs to be non-slip, and there are non-slip bath mats that you can purchase, because it's quite easy for someone to slip in the shower, especially if they're a little bit doddery on their legs. The other thing that has been an absolute boost for me, because I have partial sight loss thanks to my dementia, we've actually put in, what are they called?
Sensory light.
Sensory lights. So the sort of thing that you see in hospitals, where as soon as you walk towards my wet room, the light automatically goes off, and I know that if it then goes dark again, because I've been in there too long, I just wave my hands and the light comes straight back on again. And for me, that has been such a big boon. What we're doing after that?
You've got, what stops you going upstairs?
Oh yes, for me, stairgate, because I've had a spinal injury and I have impairment. I'm incomplete paraplegic, so I'm not totally steady on my legs, and I am a wheelchair user as well. And so one of the worries flagged up by my family was, what if I were to try and get up the stairs? We actually only live on the ground floor, but we have carers accommodation if it's needed in the upstairs. So we've got a stairgate, just a child stairgate, and that prevents me from going up those stairs and risking injuring myself. What's next?
Kitchen.
Oh, the kitchen, right. If I start with the stove, now lots of people with dementia have probably got older type of ovens. However, and again, this really works well for me because I'm not good around cooking pots and things because of my visual impairment. And so having an induction hob is a real plus, because should I put my hand down on the oven not realising it was on, actually as soon as I touch it I'm aware, and then the heat, if the pan drops, the oven stops basically. It stops its emitting the heat, so you don't get the burns. So that's a real boon. I need the prompts for the next one.
Kitchen cupboards.
Oh, kitchen cupboards. So general kitchen cupboards, a great thing that you can do in the kitchen is to actually print off large images of the items that are actually inside the cupboards. So you could have tea bags and flour and sugar and whatever, however you arrange in there, but have the pictures on the outside, because often actually locating products can be a real issue for people with dementia, and I certainly have that problem. So anything that makes it a little bit easier to locate things in the kitchen, more likely you are to be able to find the bread to make the sandwich. Next.
What was the other thing about the cupboards though? Miranda told you to do something important, because with Alzheimer's, if you look into a food cupboard, what's it like looking down?
So decluttering. So you have, whereas I've always had a really well stocked larder, now we've had to declutter it, because otherwise you just get confused by all the things that are in there. And again, this happens with me. I can't see it for seeing. So by having less products on the shelving and spreading them around a little bit does make it easier to actually identify them. And if that's also coupled up with a picture of what's in that cupboard, it's much easier for them.
With your particular type of Alzheimer's, you had to change some of our equipment.
Yes, so some of the kitchen, well, all the kitchen crockery and tableware has been changed. So I now use melamine plates, cups, bowls, to prevent breakages, because in the early days of my diagnosis I spent an awful lot of time standing in a circle of glass where I misplaced putting a glass back where I thought it was, and it just smashed and I'll be left in this ring of glass. So melamine, and you can buy those probably cheaper from camping sites than you can from supermarkets. Next.
The other thing we noticed was to try and, it's basically making the house childproof. Like, so you gear up, so if you've got tables that are low, not to have so many ornaments on, don't have candles.
Yeah, decluttering surfaces.
Lit candles, not having them up.
Things, yeah, no naked flames, no matches, things like my fire guard. If that's the only way you can heat a room, make sure there's fire guards and they're fixed to the wall. It basically childproofing the house again. So childproof locks on cupboards that have got chemicals in, anything that could potentially be harmful to a person with Alzheimer's or any form of dementia, the last thing you want is them to pick up a bottle and drink it thinking it's a drink, and it's actually a chemical that they're having. Technology, right, technology. There's a lovely gadget called Alexa. So, Alexa, or Alexa, and she'll go ping now. Alexa, see, there she goes, ping. Using tech, and people can learn to take new information in, particularly in the earlier stages of Alzheimer and dementia. So using tech is a really great way of setting reminders. So for your daily, for your hourly glass of water, for example, or it might be take your pills now, take your morning pills now, or you could set time to have breakfast, or time to have lunch, or time to have dinner. You just give the instructions, and obviously family and friends can help with the setting up of all of those sorts of reminders, and you can even include in that washing and dressing. So she's a great help.
FaceTime.
FaceTime. I love FaceTime now. I do need help with it. I can't get it up independently, but my husband sets it all up for me, and then I can have a lovely time talking to my family and being connected to them, even in these difficult times at the moment.
You've got a Sky Q.
Yes, Sky Q. Right, you'll have to remind me.
That's the little blue button that you can push, and then you can say...
Oh yeah, so with Sky Q, you can actually use the little button to actually voice out the programs you want to watch. And even our TV, for example, we picked out current TV because it is Alexa enabled. And
which skill do you want to enable?
Cancel. She
Cancelling.
I can ask her to turn the TV on or turn the TV off as well, and as I say, that the handset for Sky Q allows you to actually talk to it, and you can put your programs on as well.
We should be able to actually, when we do convert it all over, it's also your lighting system. So if you have that on a timer,
we're hoping to change over to Alexa Lights.
Sorry, I didn't find a device named Lights.
Don't worry.
So that would actually
and that
come on
would
at certain
actually
times to
help
actually
by coming
tell
on
you
and
to
off at regular times.
go to bed as well.
Possibly even down to having curtains that automatically open and close, so that it's an easy way of people identifying day from night. Is there anything else?
Obviously, as your journey progresses, you've got things like one of our friends made you.
Oh yes, what did I do with it now? Yes, this. One of my good friends, I used to do an awful lot of crafting, but with my sight loss, it's become very challenging, which I dislike. But anyway, one of my friends, well, a couple of my friends, have taken a large amount of all my fabrics and felts and everything that I used to use, and have made me some widgets, and these have been shown to alleviate distress in people with Alzheimer's and dementia, and they just have different textures to them. So some are bright and sparkly, some are fluffy, some have bells on, some are ribbons, and I've got lace in there. So all sorts of different textures, buttons, and they can also be talking points as well. So if someone's having a bad day, it can be a really good way of connecting with the person with dementia and getting a conversation going in someone who may not interact particularly often. So especially in the later stages, these types of cushions are really, really useful.
One more thing, actually, going back to Alexa. So she doesn't do it for me. Which is very good, because we found that most people who work with people who have Alzheimer's and dementia, music therapy is very important. So Alexa's fantastic for that, so that you can actually get up your own music list that you know that the person with dementia absolutely loves, whether it's a certain theme, genre, or even if it's different people that they loved when they were younger. And you can just have that accessed anytime. Often we'll say play Kim's playlist and it'll have all her favourite music playing. Or I know that I can actually get certain, like with the Carpenters, if I ask Alexa to play the Carpenters, and that would keep Kim busy and happy and singing away in the kitchen and dancing as well. So use Alexa for the most you can for those sort of things, but music's very, very important. That's probably one of the best things about it. There's probably lots of other bits and pieces.
Music brings back memories as well. It invokes memories, and you find people with dementia become animated again and strike up conversations again, even if they can't remember who they're talking to, which I know is incredibly hard for family, but you'll be amazed how many people living with dementia will strike up completely random conversations because of the music that's being played, or it's a very powerful thing,
which we may bring up on another week. Right, that's it, I think. There's probably lots of other things, but we can go over them again in the weeks as Kim's journey progresses.
And if any of you ever have questions or are interested in my journey or the types of dementia that I've spoken about, please get in touch. I'd like to hear from you. Thanks for watching.
Okay, until next week, thank you very much for listening, and everyone stay safe.